tonight. Former Stone Academy students are now suing the state of Connecticut. The lawsuit alleges the state has ruined the students' reputations. Consumer investigative reporter Cassidy Williams explains why the students say their constitutional rights were violated.
It was February of this year when Stone Academy abruptly closed all 3 of its campuses. An attorney representing the students says what happened over the next 10 months has left students in limbo ever since.
The state was in a position to make things better, and not only did they not make things better, they made it exponentially worse.
After the closure, the state said an audit of transcripts was needed. Office of Higher Education Executive Director Tim Larson spoke to us about the audit in March.
The purpose of our review is really to benefit the students so that they have an actual transcript.
This March interview was the last time Larson agreed to our request for an interview about Stone Academy. The audit was then released in July. It found 89% of clinical hours would not count because the clinicals were not up to state standards. Many students, like Morgan Silva, saw dozens of hours of her time thrown out.
I was over 50% completed with the program, but I only completed like 10 or 15% of my clinicals.
Attorney David Schlossberg says the state did not have the authority to invalidate credit hours, and doing so without giving students a chance to appeal violates their constitutional property rights.
The students were not given an opportunity even to participate in the process or to come forward and say, no, I was at that class, I took that class.
Schlossberg is already representing students in a class action lawsuit against Stone Academy and its owners over what happened leading up to the school's closure. Tuesday, a separate class action lawsuit was filed in federal court over how the state managed the fallout. 4 defendants are listed. Tim Larson with OHE is the first. Then there's Sean Seepersad, OHE's Division Director of Academic Affairs. Third is the Department of Public Health Commissioner Manisha Juthani. The last defendant is Chris Andresen, the Section Chief for Practitioner Licensing and Investigations. The lawsuit alleges all 4 defendants have caused damage to the students' professional lives and reputations.
All the people who were in positions of trust failed miserably here.
We reached out to representatives with the Office of Higher Education and the Department of Public Health. Both told us no comment. Reporting in East Hartford, Cassidy Williams, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.